Hi, I'm Cody Stewart, representing BUSHIKAN-HA under Hanshi Patrick McCarthy. In this KU Quick Tip, I would like to look at the timing of activation through the body, following the sequence of legs, hips, shoulders, arms. And again, we'll use the reverse punch, since it's a simple example for illustrating the principle. So we begin the movement with the legs, and we've got three actions we need to concern ourselves with. We have a calf contraction to extend the foot. We have a quadriceps contraction to extend at the knee, and we have a glute and hamstring contraction to extend the upper leg at the pelvis. So all three of these work in conjunction to drive the hip forward. Now we connect the torso to the hips with a rotation through the core. Now the core rotation can serve to rotate the shoulders or to rotate the hips. So I can use this core rotation to pull my hips through in addition to the drive from the legs. And then I use a rotation in the opposite direction to pull the shoulders through. So rotating one way pulls the hips through, and rotating the other way pulls the shoulders through. Let's look at this a little bit more closely. Hips going to the left is the same as shoulders going to the right. So to rotate my shoulders to the left requires the opposite rotation to rotate my hips to the left. So in that sense, I have a counter rotation in terms of the action of the obliques, even though both the hips and the shoulders have rotated to the left. Now imagine what happens if you sit on a swiveling chair and rotate your shoulders. What you'll find is that the hips actually go in the opposite direction. So the rotation gets split between the upper and lower half. So I want to make sure that the rotation to pull my shoulders forward doesn't also result in my hips going backwards. So to accomplish this, not only do I have the drive from the legs pushing the hips forwards, but then they serve to also anchor the position of the hips so that all of the energy I'm putting into this rotation serves to pull the upper body forward, and I don't lose any of that energy to the hip moving backwards. So continuing on from there, now that we have the legs driving the hips forward and an action in the core pulling the upper torso forward, we're then going to extend our shoulder into the position we want, getting a little bit more range, but also bringing it into either forward and down using the pecs and the lats for a stable shoulder position, or forward and slightly elevated if we're looking to protect the chin. Finally, the very last thing will be extending the arm and tensing the impact tool, in this case the fist. So what we have then is this smooth, almost whipping action through the body, starting from the leg, working its way up through the hips, the core into the shoulders, extend the shoulder, and then extend the impact tool. It's worth noting that students often learn this process in reverse, top down. They will start working a technique with their hands, because that's the part they interact with their opponent with. And then they'll want to add power to it, so they'll start moving their shoulders. We train them that rotation through the body is what generates the power, and eventually we'll get them to connect to the floor through the legs. And it's right about this time that they come to realize that the punch is not in the hands, it's not in the arms. Their punch is in the body, and the extension of the arms adds nothing to the power of that punch other than to connect all the power they've generated with their body to the target through the impact tool. Depending on your position in the moment and how you're moving relative to your opponent, you may choose to abbreviate or combine certain aspects of this movement. But for a smooth delivery of power, this is the activation chain you want to be seeking to ingrain in your movements. I'm Cody Stewart, and thanks for watching this KU Quick Tip.